press conference to preview our game against Chelsea. We'll start off with Alan from Sky.
Thanks, Andy. Afternoon, David.
Hi there.
You're in good form. 4 wins from the last 5 matches, and those wins achieved with a clean sheet. It's always a good base to build on, defensively sound, with that exception of Newcastle, I suppose.
Yeah, well, you play good teams in the Premier League, and you know it can happen. So, but yeah, we're pleased with a lot of the things we're doing. We want to keep it going. We want to get in a strong position and keep sort of challenging near the top if that's possible.
And your away form has massively improved, David. I don't know whether you're aware, but since you took charge again at the club, no Premier League team has won more away games than Everton. So that must please you immensely.
Have Arsenal not won more than us?
We've got more points.
Yeah. But there you go.
More
You've given me
points,
more
you've won
points,
more.
one more. Well, that's great because obviously the situation we were when we came in, you know, we hadn't got many points at the time. So shows you what the players have been capable of, and they continue to do so. Their work and their effort and their resilience at times has been impeccable. I hope we can keep it going, and you know, obviously we've got a huge opponent against Chelsea to play, but we look forward to it.
I suppose you're very much aware of the stat that gets rolled out every time you go to Stamford Bridge, not won there since 1994, so no better time than to put that to bed, given the form that you are in on the road.
Well, it got rolled out about Bournemouth and it got rolled out about Man United a few weeks ago, so we accept it. You know, that's right. Chelsea Football Club have had some brilliant teams over many years, and some great managers and great players. So it's always been difficult to beat them, and no different now, I should say.
What have you made of their form of late? It seems to be a little indifferent.
Are you talking about the world champions? Is that what you're talking about? So, sorry, you're talking about the world champions being a little bit out of form. Like they've done amazing, haven't they? Really, Chelsea. They were getting criticised a little bit for the way they were going about their business, but they brought in some great players. So, you know, I don't know everything about Chelsea, but they look as if they're going in the right direction.
I know you're a couple of points off the top 4. It's a big month ahead, I suppose. Big couple of games coming up, but you're going to play a number of those matches without a couple of really influential players in Iliman Ndiaye and Idrissa Gana Gueye. Are they due to go next week? Is this their last weekend?
Yes, as I think it is for every African player at any club. It's not just our club which is having to do that. I think we have to respect completely the African Nations Cup, and the players have to go and play in the tournament for their countries. They're rightly so. It's a great thing that they get selected for their countries. So we hope they do well. Obviously, I don't think it's anything which has ever pleased any managers or any football clubs that we have to let them go. But that is it, and we wish them well. But we've got them for this game, and then they'll go off to Africa.
Players' absences or other players' opportunities, of course. So the likes of Tyler Dibbling must be, itching to get regular runouts.
Yeah. There's a few. You know, Charlie Alcaraz and Dwight McNeil, quite a few in there who are all keen to get selected and put in the side. So they'll all be used. I've got no doubt about that in the coming weeks and months.
Keenan Dewsbury-Hall goes back to Stamford Bridge. He must be relishing that prospect. He's been excellent for you. What has he brought to your team, David?
Well, he has been excellent. That's the first thing I would say. And he's brought some goals and assists as well. He's just brought us a little bit more calmness at different times. He's looked a really comfortable footballer, and has been in, even when he was at Leicester, even at Chelsea, he did show that as well. So, but I think he maybe just needed a little bit more attention, a little bit more love. The supporters have taken to him greatly here. He's done great for the team here. So we're pleased with him. We really are. He's worked out well, and long may that continue as well.
Any injury news in terms of the game for tomorrow? Any progress on Jared Branthwaite?
Look, Jared and Merlin are back on the grass and doing some work. Merlin is obviously much further on than Jared, but they're both back in the grass now, and hopefully we're starting to see a chance that we get them back soon. Obviously with the 2 boys you mentioned earlier about the African nations, us getting say Merlin back at least would be a big help.
I know you're always looking to strengthen, David, but is the January transfer window an area that you would look to, and any specific areas that you'd want to strengthen in?
Of course we would. If we think there's players who would suit, or players we could get, or players were affordable, I think we would certainly be in that position to do so. I think the ownership want to keep climbing and trying to keep moving forward. We certainly do, but also it becomes a little bit more difficult about January, just getting the right players and are they available, etc.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. We'll go to John Tier, Premier League
Afternoon,
Productions.
David.
Hi there.
Briefly touched upon the Newcastle game a few moments ago. How impressed are you with the character that your side has shown since then, and to produce the results the way you have as well?
I think the biggest compliment I could give them, the Newcastle game was out of character. That would be the biggest positive I'd say about them, because I think that in the main the boys here show great character every week. They try to be resilient, they try to play well, they really do. They're good trainers. There's lots of things we can improve on, we know that, and maybe in time we will, but at the moment I can only say good things of the players. I've not been here a year yet, but the time I have been here, it's they've done brilliantly well.
Tiano Barry got his first goal finally. What's his mood been like, and what's your challenge to him now to really go and crack on?
Well, I think his mood's changed greatly, but I'd sensed it for a little while. I think he's settling in. He's training better. He's looking a lot more comfortable in a lot of situations and a lot of actions he's involved in. So I was pleased to get the goal, because not probably, but you'll be judged as a number 9 probably by the goals you get and what you do. But he's shown that he's a good team player. He's certainly beginning to look a lot more settled. He's speaking a bit more than he did before. I don't know if it was getting more confidence with his English, or just generally getting more confident. But the goal has hugely made a difference by the looks of it as well.
You talk about Chelsea world champions, as you put it. What's the biggest threat they pose to you this weekend?
I think they're attacking players what they've got. I mean, they've got 4 wingers who can play. You never know what one's going to play. Probably, maybe one of England's top players in Cole Palmer, if he's available. So they've got a really, really big attacking side in what they've got available to them. The amount of players they've got for those roles, and can change them around quite regular. So I think that will be the biggest issue for us, is dealing with Chelsea's sort of attacking intent.
Thank you, David. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, John T. We'll go to Julia at Radio Merseyside.
Hi, David. You mentioned there about the run that you've been on. So the Manchester United result, it was a win in difficult circumstances. The Bournemouth fixture has often been seen as a problematic one for Everton, and you got the win there. Do you feel pleased you're changing the narrative and going into this? Does that help?
Yeah, well, I've got quite a lot of them to do. Wherever I've been as a manager, you've always got clubs and teams you go to and you say, I've struggled to get a win there. There's been some grounds who I've won quite regular at. But Chelsea's always been a really difficult one as well. Just as one of the number of clubs who sometimes you found it hard to win it. But I think we go there in a good place. We'll go there in good spirits. We go there with the feeling that we'll go and give it a go and see how we get on. But ultimately, you've got to remember we're up against. I don't know how much they've spent and how much their players are worth, but certainly they've got a bundle of players who are incredibly talented.
There's been a lot of praise for the relationship on the pitch of Jack Grealish, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, Iliman Ndiaye, and how it's working at Everton. I just wondered, did you expect it to work that quickly when you put those players together? And how much more, I appreciate Iliman's going for a little bit, but how much more is there to come from that midfield?
Well, in a way, I would probably say yes, because I thought that with Grealish's Premier League experience, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall Premier League experience, it's a bit like when you're bringing boys in from other countries or different leagues. They may settle in well or they may not, and you've probably seen it here over the years at different players, but maybe even more recently. But I think those two having the Premier League experience made a difference. I think Ellie played really well. I thought in the second half of the season he got goals and he looked a bigger threat. I think the bigger thing for Ellie was, did we think he could play on the right hand side if we brought Jack? And I think he's shown that he can play both on the right and the left, which has been huge for us, because it's meant that we've been able to use him and Jack at the same time. So I think the three of them, they've not surprised me, no, because they've got Premier League experience, but it's just never easy going to a new club. I think Kieran Dewsbury-Hall is the one who's probably stood out because he's got us the goals and assists. So, as I said earlier, I hope that continues.
With that Premier League experience then, when you are looking at players, you mentioned there Tierno Barry, he's got his goal and you're seeing that difference in the mood and things, and it's difficult, isn't it, for fan bases to be patient with players sometimes, but is that the perfect example then where you have players that have already got that Premier League experience and just sometimes you have to wait a little bit longer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that us as a club, if you look at the position we've been in over the last recent years, I think we were desperate for Premier League experience, players who could play in the league, players who knew the league, could make sure that we were keeping away from the wrong end if possible. We had a big turnaround this summer, so we had to make sure that some of those players had Premier League experience, and even now, getting into all the future windows at the moment, we still need that, because we're not ready yet to go and pluck out all the best youngsters. I mean, Chelsea in the main have gone and plucked out youngsters from Brazil and all over the place and picked out some great players. They've also picked out some young British boys as well, but in the main I think most of their work's been done overseas. But they had probably a base of Premier League experienced players, which we needed to make sure that we were a Premier League club first and foremost. So Tierno's one of many overseas players who come in who could take a little bit. But I signed quite a few boys, as you'll well know, from the Championship in the early days. It took them sometimes 6 months to get in the team. So sometimes sitting back and watching it does them no harm. So we're looking forward to seeing Tyler in the future and Tierno Barry scoring more goals.
Nottingham Forest this week have contacted the PGMOL about James Tarkowski. I just wondered, do you get notified of that, and just your view on that?
I've only read what you've probably read, but I've not heard anything. I've not heard anything from Johnny, my secretary, or anything like that. So I don't know. I mean, I think the decision was made on field. Very rarely the FA alter what they do or what they think. So, well, that's the way I see it anyway.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Julia. We'll go to Carl at the Press Association.
Hi, Carol.
David, if someone had said to you at the start of the season that 2 weeks before Christmas you'd be a point behind Chelsea and a win outside the top four, what would have been your response?
Yeah, I would have said it would be amazing. It was what I was probably dreaming and hoping that we could probably do. But if you saw, we were quite slow in the summer. We didn't get things done maybe as quick as I would like, and we were a little bit short when we went to America. So it wasn't looking quite as strong at that time. But no, credit to the people around the club who got us the players in and helped us. So, but I have to say the big thing was, and I know he's not played, signing Jared Branthwaite. We've re-signed Jordan. We've got Tarky. We've kept the nucleus of the boys who've done really well here. I think over recent years under Sean as well, and had to come through the difficult times. So we want to now sort of build on that and use it as a sort of the building blocks to get better. And I think with the likes of Kieran and Jack, Tierno as well, and Tyler, I hope those boys all go on to be good players in the future.
And considering the respective budgets of the two clubs, how do you view how the gap has been bridged so far? At the moment, you've obviously closed the gaps at the moment, but how do you view, from your point of view, how you've done it?
Yeah, I don't know what you do. We've got lots of data people now around the place, how they would see at Chelsea being a point more than us. But the difference in the spend, I don't know where that would be and how it would be seen. But look, we're pleased. We've been on a good run, and we know it could easily change. You can lose. The way the Premier League is, we've won 4 out of 5. It could go the other way in this league, and it wouldn't necessarily mean that you're doing that badly. I just think the league is so tight. But if we want to keep ourselves in and around it, we're going to have to keep picking up big results like we did at Old Trafford, like we did at Bournemouth, and winning a game against Nottingham Forest at home. We're going to have to keep trying to pick up those results. And we hope we can keep it going at the moment. I know we're about to lose the 2 boys, Ghana and Ellie, after the weekend, but hopefully some of the other boys, the likes of Charlie, Tim, have had some minutes, and Dwight, and they'll all be ready to start.
Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No? Okay.
Thank you.
We've spent just short of